All right, great. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'll just stay with what's working so we can move forward. I hope everybody's having a blast and hope things are slowing down for you at work. It's it's that time of the year, and one of the things that tends to happen around this time. First of all, my name's Nnamdi and Stella. If you haven't met me before or you haven't seen any of my streams, so the reason I'm doing this, a couple of reason. So I've the last couple every week I do every week Saturday I come online and I do a workforce ready session. The last couple of weeks I've had projects going on, and so I've not been able to show up. And so this week I'm doing a blitz, a blitz of recordings to make sure I'm continuing to provide value to everyone who looks forward to our content, for learning experiences and all of that. So that's my what do you call it? Just one way of saying I'm sorry for for all the sessions I missed, but also there's value to be had and to be shared. And I don't want anybody to miss out on what's going on. At this time, there's so much opportunity, there's so much in this realm, and I think I really want us to, take advantage of it. One thing that happens towards the end of the year is people get complacent. I'll just say it that way. People get complacent and stop doing, what it is that has gotten them to the place that they, whether it's, there's this like, let's take a step back, and it's okay to rest, it's okay to reset, but it's not okay to let that begin to lead to complacency, right? Because in the end, you want to get into the new year with some level of momentum, right? And so um, uh, that's why I'm going to continue doing this to ensure that at least your mind is stimulated. And then for people who are looking to make that transition into careers in information technology, people who are in tech are looking to advance in their careers. This is going to be an important it's important to make sure you have the blueprint in place. And so those are the conversations I will continue to have with us the remainder of the year. All right. So again, welcome. Today is December 16th, 2025. And again, I'll be doing this. Hopefully I get my reserved space on time, but I plan to show up by 1 p.m. every day this week. So make sure you come out and hang out with me if you have any questions during that time. I will also just put that in the comments and I'll do answers in the next video. All right. So today my topic is, can AI replace your job? I know there's been so many conversations around artificial intelligence and what it means, and every day there's new data, new information around um, what AI means and how it's affecting work. There's new quotes from leaders in the industry, from billionaires who are talking about the effect of AI long term. Right, we've had very drastic and sometimes scary things right around what the future will look like with artificial intelligence. And the truth is, um, if you are not informed for yourself, you will act maybe irrationally. And so, for the one who is looking to get into tech and is worried, well, is there going to be a job for me? Is AI taking all the jobs in tech? Let's talk about it, right? And so, yes, the fear is real. Yes, the concerns are valid. Um, we saw a wave of layoffs this year, and it's if you dig deep into it, it's not necessarily artificial intelligence. All of it is not all powered by artificial intelligence. There's just a lot of economic conversations, a lot of political conversations that I'm not going to get into in this realm that affected it. So it's not all AI leading to the loss of jobs that we saw in the tech space this year. So what you need, and the questions we're asking is, how do I ensure that I'm good? How do I ensure that even as I'm looking to navigate and make this transition into tech, I am not setting myself up for, future frustration, right? And that's important, right? Not just for getting in, just in life generally. Um, it's super important that we have this mindset, constantly. Like, how do I future proof my career? And so you need a 2026 job security plan, right? It's super important. It's not about running away from artificial intelligence. It's here to stay. It's going to be a part of our lives. And you should also pay attention to people that are also breaking into jobs this year. If you've noticed the last quarter, we've seen an upward trend in hiring within the tech space. So you just need to think of, okay, that what's the job security plan? What does that look like? It's not about running from AI, like I said. It's about running to where AI creates value, creates new value, right? That's very important. So today I want to talk about through my outline, what are the, non-coding tech skills that are future proof, right? And I'm focusing on the data governance, the database administration side of things, and also agile leadership. And that's Scrum Masters, Agile project managers, project delivery leads, those titles. And by the end of the time, our time together, you know exactly where to invest your energy. I'm focusing on those two outcomes today. All right. Let me know in the chat if you're still with me or if you're watching this on replay. Put something in the chat and tell me I'm with you. All right. Now, this when I talk about this non-coding skills, I want to emphasize, with data, the data dilemma. Um, AI needs a human. All right. First of all, I've said this many times. AI is powered by data. AI is only as intelligent, as artificial intelligence. The artificial component of it is it has to be trained, it has to be taught. Mechanisms are built to constantly train artificial intelligence. How do you train artificial intelligence? By feeding it with what? DATA, data, right? Data powers AI. So that on its own should give you, who is considering a career path, some rest of mind. That AI is not the foundation of AI is not a it's not what I call it now, an occurrence that happens void of human interference or intervention, right? It has to still be powered by people and humans, and it's still going to be it's as intelligent as the data you feed it, right? It is as intelligent. Mechanisms have been built to ensure it synthesizes data very fast and it's able to integrate that into natural conversations and all of that. That's the whole concept of machine learning. But when it comes to how it's powered, one, it's data driven, that means human fed. AI needs humans, all right? It's always going to need humans. It's only as good as its data. It can process, but it can't govern. It can determine ethics and policy and all of that. And if you are in this realm that we work in, compliance and policy and ethics are a big deal for us. Those are judgment calls AI can't make, a human has to make, right? And so it's really I want to really dwell on those that human-centric skill part, right? For a database administrator, you know, things around data integrity, the quality of the data, making sure again, AI will give you a has anybody done a prompt before and then it looks really good, the result comes up, but you're reading through it and there is mistake. You will even see most major AI platforms will put their AI can make mistakes, right? It will literally right there. This thing can make mistakes. It can make mistakes, so double check, so look through it again. If you've seen that before, whether on chat or Gemini or any platform, put in the chat you've seen that before because that happens. So these are the creators of these platforms telling you to not totally depend on what the results you're getting from these things and still do your due diligence. That's a major loophole for people like in the data space and the database engineering, data governance realm, database administrators, because it's for us that is key. Data integrity is key, right? Our compliance is key. What we do, the nature of our job is that we are the guardians of the data. As database administrators, as database engineers, we are responsible for uh, um, data quality. We're responsible for who has access to data. We're responsible for making sure data is accurate. Because in the event that any of that does not work the way it should, that's lawsuits. That's personal information compromise. That is medical records compromised. That is prescriptions lost. That could lead to loss of lives or things like that. So the consequence of breach in data integrity can be ghastly. And for us, that is not acceptable. If you work, whether you work in the school district or you work in healthcare as a database administrator, you work in government, data needs to be correct, data needs to be accurate, data needs to be safe. It needs to be, there's a level of data integrity, security, compliance that we have to adhere to. And these things are not, uh, um, you don't build, you, like somebody has to be making that judgment call. Somebody has to be looking through these things and making sure it's accurate, it's clear, it's the right information you're putting out. Imagine a situation where, let's say someone, receives the wrong prescription because they pulled it from, use the platform or a tool. Let's say now AI is dispensing prescriptions or pulling medical records and doing those things. And now you maybe prompt your hospital has its own your hospital has its own AI, platform, and you're able to prompt this platform to receive your medical records, receive your prescriptions, receive, things like that, and it accidentally gives you the wrong information, and you go with that printout to go pick up medications, and now you're taking the wrong prescriptions. That's dangerous. That's lawsuits. That's life at stake. And that's a completely made up scenario I just presented there. There's no case study to that effect today. uh, but it's me going the lens to show you why the human piece of this is not going away, right? The human element when it comes to uh, um, data management and data governance and database administration is not going to disappear. It is always, it's here to stay. It's always been there. It's always going to be needed. Um, that human centric aspect of what we do in data, there's always going to be that part, right? Somebody's going to have to look at trends in the day and write new policy, right? Policy is written to govern behavior. Um, those are things that individuals would have to do, people would have to sit on, deliberate on, and come up with, right? So when it comes to you as a career changer, you are someone who is looking to make that next step in your career. Um, this should give you the feeling of security. Like when we're talking about securing or having that 2026 job security plan, being in the space and in a realm where you know there's always going to be a need, and the realm that we operate from is one that you can't prompt away, that you can't script away, that you can't automate away. um, there's always going to be that human element. That means opportunities will always exist in the data realm. Jobs will always be available in the database space for database administrators, database engineers. You're always going to have a job regardless of how AI evolves, right? So that should bring you some comfort. Like, again, let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to get into that with you. Um, it's I wrote a funny like AI will not face jail time for data breach, right? But the people behind it will, right? If there's any of these case studies and that I just described, that there is still the people behind it that will face consequences. It is the DBAs behind the process that will have to. And so it is a responsibility that cannot be automated, right? So let that bring you a level of comfort. That we what we do is significant, and for where we are today, it's not going away. All right. Um, and so for you looking to get into tech, looking to explore careers in database administration, what skills should you be looking to learn? If you're a database administrator, what should you be learning? Right? Because again, I know I'm talking to career changers, but I know people who are already in the space who also listen to what I talk about as well. I've mentored so many people, and so some of my past students come and listen to this sessions. Um, what should you be learning as a DBA now? Right? Again, it's this is where we start going from. We need to evolve beyond maintenance, right, and start going into that design and architecture level, understanding the inner workings. So that's where we'll focus on cloud technologies, but from a design support to going beyond maintenance, and going into that design realm. All right. So I've talked about the data side, database administration, data governance. Um, the other non-coding skill that I want to bring, highlight today in this session is going to be, agile leadership. Agile leadership, the Scrum Master role, agile delivery, agile project manager, any careers within that agile leadership realm, so whether you're a Scrum Master or any titles adjacent in that realm. Um, AI can manage your schedule, right? When you're a project manager, when you're agile, it's a lot of organizational work involved. It's a lot of alignment, organizational values, objectives with and making sure engineers are delivering promptly, all of the testing and all the things that need to happen are happening, right? And so if you look at it from that, right, there are certain components of that AI can help in. AI can create a schedule or manage a schedule, but that's not all you're doing as a Scrum Master, right? Can AI manage conflict? Can it handle or help team morale? Can it make people, can it pay attention to how things are going, the people behind the code, the people, the engineers working? AI is not able to assess how they're feeling. It's not able to explore and understand their frustrations and communicate that to the business, right? AI can't do that. It's work is done in teams, right? Project work, software delivery work is around, engineering teams. And that's a lot of teamwork. And that's really the Scrum Master as a facilitator, right? The nature of teamwork is fundamentally human. All right, I'll say that again. The nature of teamwork is fundamentally human. You can't um, automate that. I don't think AI is going to ever get to that level of intelligence where it becomes a human being, where it starts to have feelings, where it starts to, right? The persona your AI takes, you have to tell it to become, right? It's paying attention to your language, your communication, and tries to take on a persona that fits you, but it doesn't have one of its own. Okay, so the nature of teamwork, like I said, is fundamentally human. And so as a Scrum Master, do you have job security? Right now that I've talked about this, what is your job security? Because again, you see people saying things like, this role is dead, this role is not, there's no more jobs. And then you go on LinkedIn, you go on Dice, you go on Zip Recruiter, and you're seeing new jobs open up every day. So somebody is not telling the whole truth. Now take it from people that do this every day and help people get into this career path. These opportunities still exist and they are bound. Again, go on LinkedIn and do a job search today. And then come back and tell me how many jobs you found. Go to Department of Labor's website. So again, don't just fall for innuendo online. I think that is not productive. If you are somebody looking to take serious decisions, then be data driven. And I say that with, yes, I'm a data person, but don't just make decisions that affect your life based off of innuendo, right? And rumor mills and gossip online. Go do the research. Where are credible data sources to confirm the rumors you're hearing? Right, you can validate those things. You can go again on Department of Labor's website to see how many jobs were opened up this year. Compare that to previous years. That's what you're supposed to do. Get the actual concrete numbers and then make an informed decision. Okay, so before you jump on the trend that there are no more jobs in this realm, that's just lazy. Do your research. Go on the proper government websites that actually keep record of this records, and then confirm if the things you're hearing are valid. All right, and so where is the job security for you as a Scrum Master, somebody who is in Agile Leadership, who is Agile Project Manager, anybody in Agile Delivery in that realm, right? All the adjacent titles. Focus on the soft skills, right? The core of this work and what makes you exceptional is not the technical things. It's the conflict resolution. It's motivational leadership. It's servant leadership, right? Uh, um, it's stakeholder alignment. It's you as a coach. These are these are the transferable skills that AI can't replace. AI can enhance, but does not replace. You can, if you begin to see AI as a teammate, as a co-worker, as some sort of peer, they can bounce ideas off of that. You can have conversations with that can help you expand your thought process, expand your worldview on certain things, and see things from a different scope. That's where you get the benefit of artificial intelligence. That's where AI, you begin to see AI as a partner, not a competitor, not a potential rival that's about to take all the jobs and then get you unemployed. Right. The soft skills I just highlighted that make you an excellent scrum master are things that can't be replaced. That's where the opportunity is. This is what businesses pay for. Is someone who can drive morale and ensure prompt delivery on projects, right? Ensure the happiness of stakeholders, ensure communication is clear, right? Ensure timelines are being met. These are things they hire you to come do as a scrum master. That concept of servant leadership. It's interesting. Okay, it's not about it was never about the technicality of your background. It was always about the people. It was about the people skills. And I promise you, those skills are high level skills that, again, you don't, you can teach them, but you can't teach it to technology. You can't, it's not something, there's a level of intelligence and thinking on your feet and emotional intelligence that is required to effectively manage engineers and manage egos and manage leadership and ensure alignment and keep conversations going and lead calls and lead facilitate meetings, and ensure we are staying on track and without being offensive to somebody and still putting your foot down and it's like it is a lot of things that you need this high level set of soft skills to be effective at. And that's something you should look at. Do I have the skills? Are these things that I am good at already? Right? Because now you're just going to be leveraging those skills in a software development environment or in some technical setting where you're working with engineers now. That's it, right? So it's and I think of so many scenarios where we've had either failures or setbacks with delivering project in a timely fashion. Maybe vendors are unhappy about something, or we're working with a vendor and then their platform is not working, and now it's affecting our ability to deliver a project. um in these scenarios, you can leverage AI to report promptly. AI can give you, timely reports, can announce the send notifications, all of that. But the work itself of navigating a solution, getting the right people in the room, having conversation with engineers, coaching these people through, what to do and how to navigate getting to the solution. Because what you would see sometimes, and when there's chaotic situations like that, everybody gets into panic mode and everybody begins to protect their job. All right, the scrum master gets into action and it's the one who begins to, have conversations to shift the focus from that blame culture and making sure people are taking ownership and accountability and also focused on solution and not just consequence, right? Because so those are things that, again, a real person with a certain set of skills, will happen. So for that's just something you can't automate. I don't know if anybody sees the point and what I'm trying to drive home today. All right. So, as you are navigating your career as a Scrum Master or an Agile lead, Agile coach, any of that, what should you focus on learning? For somebody looking to get in, using AI tools for administrative tasks to free up your time will be a good place to start, right? People, again, a lot of times people get stuck in using. I saw an ad saying some people use ChatGPT like Google, and you are grossly underutilizing the ability of these platforms. Like, you can leverage automation for mundane tasks. There are general repetitive administrative tasks that you can automate. There are certain research things that you can do and get notifications promptly. So focus on becoming proficient actually in the AI, so that you can spend more time on the human side, on the leadership side, on the coaching side, on the soft skill side, and let the mundane, repetitive tasks, the things that you can leverage artificial intelligence to deliver effectively. This will elevate you as an agile coach, as an agile leader, as an agile project manager, as a scrum master. So, uh, um, I hope that's helping. So it's really about um, for anyone looking to make this transition, you need to have a shift in your mindset, right? Especially in this age of artificial intelligence, it's really important that we, stop focusing on doing the repeatable tasks. That is where you get in trouble. That is the person that will lose their job to AI, is the one who focuses on doing the jobs that can be automated, doing the tasks rather than can be automated. That aspect of your work, go ahead and start figuring out how you can automate that so that you can elevate your delivery points to more higher level things, right? Um, that's the mindset shift we need to start having. Begin to focus on governing, on securing, on leading, on strategizing, right? That is where the separation begins to happen. It's time to pivot from doer to governor, right? To leader. Um, it's time for that. All right. So whether as a database engineer, database administrator, or Scrum Agile project manager, um, start evolving your skill sets, your abilities from the one who is just it shouldn't just be go break down what happened. If that's all you do, again, you're at risk. Okay, if all you're doing is support, it's research, those things, we can train AI to identify the signals, kind of that identify this symptoms rather, and even maybe implement solutions, right? So what secures your job is elevating from just the doer to the thinker, to the leader, to the governor, to the strategist. All right. So I've talked about two non-tech skills that are future-proof: database engineering or database governance, and just the data realm, and then agile Scrum realm. The third future-proof skill that I want to quickly highlight before I wrap the session up is strategic adaptability, right? And that is the ability to quickly learn new tools. That constant learning, right? That constant learning, constant improvement, constant development. It's a game changer. Okay. Um, your ability to quickly learn and grow and adjust to, as the technology is evolving, we have to evolve as fast. We have to learn to leverage, integrate these platforms, leverage these platforms for more productivity. um Integrate them into your governance and leadership. That strategic adaptability, that is going to be a game changer for you, as a person who is looking to explore new careers. All right. So again, AI is powerful. AI is incredible. AI is a powerful partner. It's not your competitor. It's not just here to take your jobs. It's not just here to take our jobs. Um, you know, it's there's certain human-centric components of tech and work that will never be lost to artificial intelligence. All right, and that should give you some comfort. And so, for people that are 2026 is a year you're exploring and you're saying, I'm going to make a change in my careers, then that's still valid. What you need now is, momentum, right? So, before I wrap this up, I want to again remind us this Saturday, I'll be hosting a career accelerator live. It's going to be a live workshop. Myself and my co-founder here at Answer Technologies, we will be exploring just 2026 career reset. I'll be taking a deep dive in career paths, when it comes to changing careers. We'll get deeper into database administration and careers in Agile and Scrum. We will dive deeper into all of that. We'll walk you through step by step our 8-week framework that you can explore to get started. So the link should be, or should already be, in the description of this session. Go ahead and register. There will be ample opportunities to get questions answered, right? So I'm going to spend as much time as needed to answer questions. So that's super important. Let's see, do we have I see activity in the chat, and so yeah, so please, let's go ahead and sign up go ahead and register for the event on Saturday. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be game changing. It's going to be packed with value. All right. And we will give away a guide to help you get started. It's worth over $1,000. We're giving it away for free, but you have to be present to take it. You have to be in the room to receive that career guide that we're giving away on that day. There's other cool things that we are putting together as well to give to people who show up for the live event. So go ahead and do that. But that's where I will end today. Thank you I wanted to keep this 30 minutes. I'm back again tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Come and join me. If you have any questions from today, feel free to drop it in the chat, and we'll continue those conversations tomorrow. I'll start with answering any questions tomorrow. If anybody has any questions, I'll get into that tomorrow. But thank you for hanging out with me. I've enjoyed doing this one. I'll be back again tomorrow, and might just randomly pop up. I try to do this on LinkedIn and YouTube. I don't think LinkedIn didn't go live, but YouTube did. So I will share this on LinkedIn as well. But make sure, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you all, and enjoy the rest of your day.